Hello everybody and welcome to Lore Sworn Live. We're playing Hearts of Iron 4 as the United States. I'm TJ, and with me is the entire order, actually, here in the studio.
Good morning. I'm DM Schmeier.
And in the background, we have Chloe and Brianna on...
Slow on the uptake.
Well,
I said hello before anybody else.
They're on tech/social media duty.
I gotta give you crap. I gotta give you crap. I gotta give you crap.
And we are broadcasting from this province right here in beautiful northern Colorado, in the glorious nation that is the United States. Has seen some better days. Currently going through a bit of a depression, which will affect us for until we can start issuing some war bonds and pull ourselves out of this good old FDR.
In the midst of the debt crisis of the early century.
Good old FDR dislikes Germany is his defining trait in this game.
I find that a little bit reductive.
It is just a little bit. He did dislike Germany, but it did take until Japan bombed our harbor for him to even go to war against Germany.
Yeah, we're not going to do too terribly much lecturing on history today. This is going to be more about enjoying the game, each other's company, and your company. But coming soon, we're going to be experimenting with a different sort of show and podcast format where we're going to allow ourselves to nerd out about this stuff a little bit more.
If you like listening to us talk at length about history, that's going to be its own thing pretty soon.
And nobody mentioned Versailles, because I'll just go off.
So, Manson in the chat is noting that the U.S., time to let that Speed 5 run amok. Haha. Actually... You're mistaken, my friend, because the United States has a new focus tree you might not have seen in previous builds of this game called Reaffirm the Monroe Doctrine. Which basically means that we are just gonna write our name in the snow all over all of the
You want some
American
freedom?
continents.
Because you're gonna get some freedom.
Venezuela? Fascism? No, that's not gonna happen. Mexico? Neutrality? No, nope. Also not. We're not down with neutrality. We got to get democracy, some proper democracy going here.
Do you want democracy? Yeah. We don't care. You're going to get it.
We really don't care. We're going to... Pax Americana is going to be a thing that's going to happen.
Freedom and pro-democratic values are our primary export here.
We're staging coups. We're boosting ideologies. We are going to be the masters of the entirety of the New World. I mean, maybe we'll see about Canada.
You want to know something funny?
Not really planning to...
We'll see about that. They're their own. They're their own
here. Yeah.
They're their own sort of They're their own sort of deal up north.
Yeah, they're doing their own thing. I think we're okay to let them do that for now. They're Democrats. That's good.
You want to know something freaking hilarious, man? Like last night, in the little sleep I got, I was so excited for this. In the little sleep I got, I imagined. And this is just like sort of, dream absurdity. Uh-huh. I imagine that JFK was the president of our America, giving the transcript of the Monroe Doctrine. It was wild. Nice. Just like the American continents, by the free and independent condition which they have been soon to maintain, are henceforth not to be considered subjects for future colonization by the European empires.
And he is allowed to talk that way because he's a New England fan. So
ask not.
He can do that. He's
your country can do for you, but what you can do to root for the Boston Celtics and the Boston Red Sox.
So, the other national spirit we have, just so we can familiarize ourselves with the country, we're the home of the free. Meaning we have 20% ideology drift defense. Not really relevant in single player because AI nations don't try to change your ideology, but in multiplayer...
that could come into play.
That can definitely come into play. It also allows us to create factions, which we will probably be doing.
Copious factions.
I'm wondering if there's actually a way we can steal Canada out of the British sphere without going to war with the United Kingdom, because that would be pretty awesome.
That would be pretty awesome.
Anyway.
I think that would take some mad diplomatic skills.
Monroe Doctrine Kennedy approves.
Yeah, there you go.
Seize Canada.
That's not how you do it.
So we have a
I will not be.
You're sputtering.
I will not be told how I can or cannot JFK.
we have Sir JMO in the chat saying, "I have one request: don't use day-night visuals when above speed 2. It hurts my eyes." Actually, that's a very good point.
We got your back, bud.
We will definitely do that because it also tends to cause some graphical hitching.
Thanks for the heads up, man.
We'll just go ahead and turn that off now, and then if we slow down,
Does
we might
defense
turn it
prevent
back
your
up.
own attempts to change the parties as well, or just foreign ones?
Just foreign ones. If you try to change your party internally by hiring a government minister, they will completely bypass your ideology defense. So you can make your government whatever ideology you want to, technically.
Which is actually, I mean, well designed, considering, I mean, our only real defining trait throughout history has been sort of a duality in our polarization. We've done a lot of evolving politically over the years.
We have. So if you watch our War College guides, which are now available on the Lore Sworn Order YouTube
Watch
channel,
them, they're hilarious.
I'm going to go ahead and run through all of these little pop-ups before we unpause the game. So for our first research slot, I always go for the minus 2% research time. That's pretty much any game I play where you have a technology that boosts your technology pace. I usually go for that one first.
Usually a good call,
And construction, we're going to be building some major industry. You know, building lots of guns and stuff, and usually I'll go for the doctrine tree after that. Superior firepower is the U.S.-focused doctrine tree, focused on throwing shells, not men, at the enemy. Our manpower is precious, and bullets are cheap.
That's
a very American ideology.
Well, and it's also a precursor to modern warfare.
It is.
I mean, we got there eventually, and World War II helped direct us down that path.
Just because we're biased, we're going to go ahead and make Colorado the industrial heart of the nation.
Yes.
Wahoo! Let's go ahead and throw some military factories in Wyoming. We've got some more capacity.
Because it's Wyoming.
Yeah.
You know what? Why not something in Utah? I mean, we just drove through Utah and we commented on, wow, there should be more factories and or military apparati and or centers of industry in Utah.
Right.
Did we not have that conversation in those exact words?
We absolutely had that
exact conversation with no variance whatsoever.
Exactly. We've got some naval dockyards free. I think I like to always be producing at least some convoys, although we have a shitload of convoys right now. So let's keep it moderate. We're also producing some Portland-class heavy cruisers, submarines. The U.S. doesn't have a lot of use for submarines, but we might as well finish off that production line.
Might as well.
Can't go wrong with more infantry equipment, artillery, all that good stuff. Although artillery I don't think we'll be using all that much of, just because as the United States, a lot of our stuff is going to be like Marines and Mountaineers and like naval landings and stuff, and it's pretty hard to land towed artillery on a beach. I don't think did they bring artillery on D-Day?
You know,
I don't remember
mobile.
seeing...
Mobile. It wasn't something that could be deployed right at landing, though, especially from the boats, right? So you have paratroopers trying to disable German artillery.
Autumnus has an amazing idea. We could incite a communist or fascist civil war in Canada, and then this faction that splits off won't be allied to the UK, and we can reconquer.
That's Monroe Doctrine is fuck right there.
That is some high-level shit. Yeah. Anyway.
Turn your head.
What?
We're being posed elaborately.
Apparently,
it's not elaborate.
While we're trying to do a stream, we're being posed for photography as well.
Indeed.
So
some people just can't risk photographing us in our natural environment because we're ruggedly handsome.
So before we go down the Monroe
That's what I
Doctrine
told myself
path,
this morning.
I think we need a little bit of work projects administration going on.
Word, counter that Great Depression.
Get some
New Deal up in here.
Oh yeah, we're getting New Deal all up in here. And we will play on Speed 5 until more stuff starts happening.
130 civilian factories, outmatching the Japanese in the early game. That is kind of what the U.S. is able to do. That's why we became an industrial titan.
We have insufficient rubber, and because we have a shitload of civilian factories, why not trade for it? The UK has plenty. So, even though we're going a little bit overboard, we're trading for 8 rubber. When
we like them. We fought for the Entente.
We did, yeah.
We'll buy their rubber.
Problem in World War II?
Scarcity of resources and manufactured goods was a problem in World War II for everybody.
Some of it was like artificial and propaganda-based.
Right.
But
Well, eventually we confound the Rubber Reserve Company, which gives
Ooh.
us production of 10 rubber in Kentucky.
Fancy.
So that'll definitely help.
Thank
Word.
you, Kentucky.
Yep. So yeah, as the U.S., until we get some of our national focuses unlocked and/or Germany starts some shit, there's not going to be as much going on, as some people in the chat have pointed out. But I do need to. I just realized we need to deploy our navies. The best way to find all of your navies, it took me a while to find this button, so I'm doing a public service here.
Naval overview.
Yeah, the naval
Nice.
overview here. We've got some submarine squadrons in the Philippines. We've actually got a lot of navies here. Let's actually merge. Yeah, let's merge all of our fleets on the west coast. Maybe we'll split off our submarines as a separate thing. So this will be our Pacific fleet. Might as well merge them with the Hawaiian fleet as well, if I can find...
Will that?
Oh, we haven't built the Hawaiian fleet
Will
yet.
that provide a tempting target for the Japanese? Bring it on.
It will, probably. Yeah.
Fool us once in real life, shame on you.
So, yeah.
Fool us twice when we recreate a scenario in a game, shame on us.
We'll start... Let's see, we got trade routes all over the place, so I guess we'll start with just patrolling the coast, probably. We do Hawaii Ridge, North Central Pacific, and the Western Seaboard. Should also assign them a commander. Tactician, Old Guard is not great. Spotting chance.
Blockade runner is not something the Americans need.
Spotter and a superior tactician, Jack Fletcher, right there.
Look at that dude too. He's a G. He's wearing the cap.
He is a G. He is a straight G.
Looking all old and.
Do we have any sea wolves? I don't think America starts with any sea wolves. So we'll just put Cook on our submarine fleet. Have him, escort convoys, all that good stuff.
Realizing that we don't have a lot of youth in our Admiralty Corps there, looking at some of those
we
character
really
portraits.
Don't.
Those gentlemen, all I would say late 50s on.
Right. Navy. So who does not have a mission? Is there an easy way to see that? Okay. So we have our East Coast fleet over here. Let's merge them and split off once again the submarines. Give them, we need a good commander for our Atlantic fleet. Tactician, blockade, and spotter. Yeah, let's go with Ernest King just because he has the highest skill level. Naval hit chance and fleet coordination, can't go wrong with that.
No, not at all.
We'll keep him patrolling.
Blockade runner is
There we
good
go.
for subs, lets them flee easier. That makes sense.
That's true. That's a good point. So we'll put Stark, Mr. Stark. Wish I could rename him to Howard Stark. In charge of our Atlantic submarines, and let's go ahead and escort our convoys. If it'll let us. Whoops. Of course, I can't remember how to clear naval orders quickly. Alright, shift right click, that's what it is. Yeah. We'll just have him escort convoys through the Atlantic in case Germany gets any ideas about raiding, and now we just need to set up our Air Force and our armies. This will be...
The Rock of the Marne Division. What a patriotic name for a country that is not ours.
Yeah. So this will be the, we'll call them the California Guard or something. I'm sorry if historical accuracy people are driven nuts by my naming system.
That's funny. The Rock of the Marne Division. It's like, that is a French tribute right there.
Yeah, there you go. And then everyone else pretty much I'm going to station on the East Coast for now.
Howard Stank. Why not Howard Stank?
Howard Stink.
Never going to let that go.
Offensive, logistics, offensive, and defensive. Yeah, let's go with MacArthur. Good old
Douglas
MacArthur.
with the pipe.
And I'm going to give them a garrison area order on basically the eastern seaboard. Florida. I actually played a game where Germany tried to invade navally through Florida. So,
Interesting.
yeah.
That strikes me
They
as
didn't-
tactically foolish.
Yeah, they didn't go at all the man in the high castle route with the Virginia Beach landing. They were like, Florida, man. That is where we want to invade. It's the Florida.
Wunderbar! Invade via Miami. As if we never see it coming.
It's alligators and the old people and the poverty.
As if we never see it coming.
Oh, did I forget to assign these guys? Oh no, they're hanging out on the Canadian border. You know, just in case Troy Goodfellow tries to invade us from Toronto. You know, it's you know,
You
we
gotta
want
watch
to
out
be
for
ready
Troy
for that.
Goodfellow.
Yeah, he's a wily fellow. You know what? He and I still have a grudge because we were playing March of the Eagles. He was, I think, Russia, and I was Sweden, and he trapped my army on the Åland Island with 2 boats. It made me lose the war, and I still have not forgiven him for that. He's
That's humiliating.
He's a
That's a
PR
butt-kicking
guy
that.
at Paradox. He used to write for PC Gamer, if you're not familiar with him. But
We heard of this Florida man. We must capture him and harness his powers.
yes, Florida Man. Florida Man will save us from the Nazis. Remilitarization of the Rhineland. That's worrying. By the way, we are playing with historical focuses, so every country besides us will be behaving more or less how
As
they did
they did.
historically. Yeah.
You know what? I'll actually be interested to see what Paradox's opinion of that is, and see how correct it is. That's going to be an interesting experience for me, just from a curiosity standpoint.
Oh, just
usually they're really great.
in terms of how the countries act, or
How they act, what they call their national focus, like, you know,
I
it
gotcha.
usually seems pretty solid to me. It's one of the things that's always impressed me about Paradox is
yeah.
they place a high premium on historical accuracy, and I dig that.
Which, by the way, the reason a lot of these are locked right now, like the USACE and stuff, is because world tension has to be at a certain amount. And for war bonds, we actually have to be at war. So we can't get rid of the Great Depression until we go to war with someone. Which is not entirely historically accurate, but somewhat simulates the fact
Well,
that the war was instrumental in pulling us out of the Great Depression.
instrumental, though, would you argue critical? I'd say that we were probably already well on the way, although it's hard to say that Lend-Lease didn't have a big effect on things. Yeah, I'd go 2 ways on that.
Yeah.
I'd go 2 ways on that.
Let's see. So, do we have a captain of industry? It's interesting that the United States does not. Or wait, maybe he's in this. War industrialist.
It's close.
Yeah, I'm wondering if we should maybe go with... Is there anyone who gives us political power gain? Yeah, Robert Taft is actually probably going to be a better investment right now because we are gaining so little political power. The Monroe Doctrine will help with that because the Monroe Doctrine tree gives us a shitload of political power, but much as I like to pick technology that gives you more technology right off the bat, I like to pick advisors that give you more political power right off the bat because it, you know, over the long run pays for itself.
Manson once saw Finland manage a white peace with the Soviets. Dumbfounded and impressed. Do not poke the Finns. Well,
That actually happens if historical focuses are turned on. That's usually how it works. Is that the Finns will hold off the Soviets for a while, white peace out, and then join the Comintern. That's how it's scripted to happen. With historical focuses off, that would be quite impressive.
The Finns gave the Soviets hell. I mean,
Oh, they did, yeah.
A lot of people, I think, just look at the time, like the fact that they eventually were forced to capitulate over months.
Oh,
but
yeah.
it's the content of those months of not capitulating that is truly staggering, man. Talk about a metaphor for a migraine headache.
Which, by the way, the reason we're getting naval dockyards back is because these production lines are set to create a finite amount of this equipment. Like, most of these, like, you can see my convoy line is just set to infinity, so it'll keep producing them forever. But our current naval setup in 1936 is just set to build a certain number of ships, which is, in my opinion, the better way to do it, especially with really expensive ones like carriers. You don't want to just keep churning those out forever. Because who needs, you know...
Sir J-Mo, I do not know what World War Wednesday is.
Oh, that's Paradox's stream.
Got it.
I actually haven't watched it yet.
Okay.
So we're going to go ahead, next step on the technology branch, mechanical
Computing. There you go.
Um,
Getting that done.
so once we finish this run of destroyers, we'll see what... Actually, since these are destroyers, are these the best destroyers we
Finland is where all the metal is. Of course Soviets
Oh, yeah.
lost.
have? Of course.
Absolutely.
So
All right, we'll go with that.
We have Farragut and Clemson classes. I'm trying to see what the difference between these is. Okay, Farraguts have better sub-detection. So yeah, we should actually just keep producing these indefinitely because they're destroyers, and destroyers are something we're always going to need. So I'm just going to go ahead and set that on infinite.
Especially, I mean, when you think about the naval, if this kind of unfolds, World War II unfolds as historical, the naval pressure on the United States is so high.
And since we're doing that, let's take a look at what we have. I also forgot to finish setting up our navies. We should do that now. So this is a submarine squadron. Where are they, though? On the East Coast? I guess I could tell from the menu. Oh, they're in the... Okay, so this is our Philippine fleet. The Philippines actually start as our puppet, I think.
Okay.
Puppet of the United States, yeah, which is fairly accurate. So, where is that Philippine Navy? I'm going to go ahead and merge them, give them a commander. Let's say tactics and spotting.
That's not bad.
Yeah, let's give them Halsey. And we'll just go ahead and set them to patrol just around the Philippines. Alright, who doesn't have a mission still? We have... So these are new ships that have just been produced on the East Coast. We'll worry about that later. And then our Caribbean fleet also needs a commander.
Nimitz is a stud.
Yeah, he is. I probably should have put him with one of my bigger fleets. I don't know.
I was
how
gonna
missed
say,
that.
yeah, I was actually going to say something, but I figured there must have been something else. Like maybe he wasn't active in
Actually,
the 30s.
let's change the names of these so that we know what we're doing. So this is going to be the Philippine fleet. Is there two P's? I always misspell Philippines. Yep, two L's, or no, one L, two P's. That's what I always do wrong. Philippine fleet. Alright. Just doing some maintenance here. The Caribbean fleet is good. Destroyer Flotilla 3 is a terrible name for my Atlantic fleet.
Yes, it is.
Because it's, I mean, it has a lot of destroyers in it, but it is not by any means a specifically destroyer fleet. So this is going to be the Atlantic fleet. We're going to put Nimitz here, actually, even though he fought in the Pacific historically. We might move him around.
He was a stud. I mean,
Actually,
send a dude like that where he's needed.
Yeah. We actually need to send them back to port before we can change out their thing. Actually, where are those? Okay, here's my bonus ships. So let's actually send them to port in Boston, and we can merge them with the new ships that have just been produced. And Nimitz. And Patrol. Okay. And then the Caribbean fleet will put King on there.
Better fit, probably.
Right. And they're going to patrol just, you know, Florida coast. Oh. Patrol mission, Florida coast, Gulf of Mexico, Caribbean Sea. Alright. Are we good on Navy? Yes, we are. So now I can look at is how much equipment we have. We have 15 battleships, 16 heavy cruisers, 78 submarines, 119 destroyers, 10 light cruisers, and 3 carriers. I feel like we should hold off on building carriers until we have some better carriers.
Yeah, those are more of a wartime need,
because the early game carriers are not
amazing.
Okay. So, probably could use some more light cruisers, though.
General Pants, Boston. Just one word. Just Boston.
Boston. Let's...
Monroe Doctrine JFK approves of the one-word Boston reference.
So we're gonna build, how many of these do we need? Let's build like 20 more light cruisers. That'll be...
It's a pretty formidable surface fleet right there,
yeah,
I think,
it will be.
for the early game.
And we're gonna make sure that they're deploying in... I guess it doesn't matter too much because we control the Panama Canal, but well, let's do New York and Philly for these guys. And stop after you have built 10 of those. Alright.